everybody, it's Kelly and I'm back with a layout for Cheeky Studio. I'll be using the August 2018 kit. I was just showing you a sketch from the kit. They're being included in the kits now. And I took that idea, I didn't use paper strips, but I'm going to make a border to the left of my photos, basically is what I used that for. So I loved that floral paper right there that I have my photos sitting on, and I did like the word paper, but I liked the 2x2 cards and wanted to use those, so I knew the words plus the 2x2 cards would be too much. So I'm going to take this paper, and this is from Amy Tangerine. It's the Shine On Harmony paper, and I'm going to put that down. Right now I'm thinking I might use that full sheet on top of the cardstock, and that's Basil Blossom is the cardstock. And so proud of myself because I'm using the cardstock again first thing when I'm using the kit. When I look at this, I decide I do need to cut it down so that I can get a little bit of a frame there, but I also decide that all of that black floral is a little overwhelming. So what I did is I cut it into a 4-inch wide strip, and then it's not quite 8. I think it's about, I'm trying to think, I think the other one is about 7 inches wide. And that really helps relieve some of the busyness behind here because I'm going to have a lot going on this page. So now I'm taking the 2x2 cards from the August kit, and those are an exclusive. So you can't order those. You can only get them if you have the kit. And then I kind of arranged them by color, print size, and not so much sentiment, but they have awesome sentiments on them, and I love them so much. When I first saw them, I decided to really go big with them. So my very first one says, "Here's to chasing your dreams in the cutest pair of shoes you own," and there happens to be a picture of my shoes there. Maybe not the cutest shoes I own, but definitely my most worn. You can totally do this. I love the person I've become because I fought to become her. Some women fear the fire, some women simply become it. Darling, just own it. And she has fire in her soul and grace in her heart. So lots of really good sentiments there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually run this border of these cards from top to bottom. So they'll go over the border, something a little bit different. And because they're 2x2, obviously they're going to fit within that 12x12 space there. And this is a simple matter of just lining them up. I just checked that last card to make sure it lined up perfectly, and it did. All right, so I have some tissue paper here. The kits are always come packed in tissue paper, or your shipments come packed in tissue paper, but this month's tissue paper that my kit came packed in was dark black. It was black with white polka dots, and that would have been too dark for these photos. So I pulled some past tissue. That things came in, and that's where I came up with the idea to use this black and white stripe. You saw me actually staple it together, so I did that before I cut it because then it wouldn't shift on me as I cut it, or shift less anyway. I just used my tiny attacher there. I did think about using that white with the black polka dots, but the size, so the scale was almost the same as the scale of the flowers, and it just didn't look right. I thought the fact that this had kind of a vertical look to it was nice. So now I'm just going to add those into the side of the not add those. I'm going to well, I just put the photos next to the border. That's what I wanted to say. And now I'm going through the Ephemera pack, which is with this month's kit. And this is the Notebook Nancy Ephemera. You can order this separately, just so you know that. And it's sitting just to the left of my layout there. Also included this month were these kind of cool fringes from Maggie Holmes, and this is this crepe paper fringe is from the Willow Lane collection, the decorative fringe from that. And so I grabbed one that was in aqua color because it works really well with the paper. And my shoes have a little bit of aqua on them, mostly bright blue. those photos were shifting a little bit too much for me. I probably needed to staple it in a couple of other places as well, so I just stapled or just glued it with my ETG. And you're not going to see this, but I actually did go back and add some more glue to it because it's shifting too much. So one of the things I'm doing here is I'm adding in things that mean something to me. So there's a little iPad there with a little thing on it that says do it yourself, do it for yourself, which is why I started running to begin with. I've lost 58 pounds since September 1st of last year. I am done, but that is important. I always run with my cell phone, so that is why that's there. And then I either run with my glasses because I wear eyeglasses or sunglasses. So that's why that's in there. So all these little pieces have meaning. And then I don't know that that girl looks like me, but I guess, you know, that's the closest I could get. So I just put her on here as well. And then you saw me, I'm using my foam tape behind those die cuts just because they're raised up off the surface of the layout with the crepe paper there. So I did think about using another one of these pieces and just didn't like the way it looked. So now I'm going to grab the thread bows that were included with the kit, and these are also Maggie Holmes from Willow Lane. So I'm playing with them a little. Not sure if I should use pink or the aqua color. And I actually got one of the little sticky backs there. Then on the top left there, I'm going to make another cluster with two of the pieces from the Notebook Nancy die cuts. Again, I told you about I wear glasses or sunglasses. And then it says plan on it. So I'm not using that as a planner piece. I'm using it more as a, you know, I plan to run kind of a thing. So I'm just going to add those pieces in there. The story of this, these two photos, is that this was July 30th, and it was going to be almost 100, if not 100 that day. And I'm going to interrupt my story here for just a second. I was thinking here that I wanted to use these floral stickers from the Maggie Holmes Willow Lane collection here to get some of the blue in there from my shoes. And then I added pink as well because it seemed like the blue wasn't quite enough. So I'll play with these because I don't have any of the blue from my shoes in here. And just because this is the one where the sticky back came off, I'm just adding a glue dot to it. And those thread bows are fun, but of course I like orderly stuff and they're not necessarily orderly. As I was looking at that, I decided that the floral stickers were just, they were too much. They were too much of a distraction from the other pieces that were already on there, so I'm going to take them off now. So anyway, back to my story. It was going to be very hot that day, so I got up at 5 o'clock to run that morning so that I could run. I shortened my normal Saturday run. This was a Saturday from anywhere between 5 and 7 miles to just 3. I also changed how I run so the course would be as flat as it possibly could be. And this was at 5:34 a.m., thus the beautiful sunrise. It was 77 degrees and 100% humidity. And I couldn't believe it when my app said that, but I have never seen 100% humidity unless there's been something like snow or rain falling out of the sky. So that's why I'm documenting this, because I did it. And I had friends who were runners that day when I when I posted this to Facebook, they told me they couldn't believe I ran that day, and I was crazy because they didn't. But anyway, crazy yes, dedicated yes. I can eat what I want when I run. All right, so I was thinking about adding some floral die cuts in there, and I have that one on the top left. And again, this is from Notebook Nancy. I was playing around with one on the bottom left, but didn't settle on anything. Now I want to put my alpha on there, and I'm going to call this Summer Run. But these alphas from the Maggie Holmes Willow collection, they're the alpha stickers, are really delicate. So I'm not going to make you suffer through the whole process of me putting these on my my Thicker's Guide. When I come back, it's going to be on that bottom photo. You'll see it. All right, so there it is. I got the title on. And then I also ended up putting that rose, there's a rose die cut on the top, the left side, top left side, or top right side of the bottom cluster. Doing just a little bit of journaling, you know, giving stats to remind me of what this day was like. And then I added a couple of gold hearts from those Maggie Holmes cardstock stickers from Willow Lane. It's a small package. I'm loving how this is documenting this, how the photos, the colors go really well, especially with that bottom photo, and how I'm putting little elements on here that mean something to me. That I love to do that because it makes the layouts more meaningful, and they're little visual cues to myself about things that happened that day or things I want to remember. You know, that's things like the cell phone and the glasses. All right, guys, here's a still shot and a couple of detail shots. At the end will be a code. It's Kelly10. You can get 10% off your Cheeky Studio order, except for your monthly subscriptions. And hope you guys are all well. I'll be back with another layout again soon. Bye.